Jbsayzwhat. It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Life After Lockup Season 6, Episode 14. The episode was titled, Diamonds Aren't Forever. Now, before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, as you guys aren't subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor. Stop taking out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Life After Lockup, shall we? All right, you guys, so I honestly don't even know where to start because some of these couples I can do without. But let's start up with the one couple that I can definitely do without. Courtney and Will. Courtney and Will, hopefully after next week, we won't have to see them ever again. Now, Courtney is still shocked that Will broke up with her. Courtney is still upset that Will broke up with her, right? And I'm really just sitting here thinking to myself, like, this can't be real. This can't be serious. You're mad that this man broke up with you. Ma'am, you went back to jail. You took a drug or some kind of a something and violated your conditions of the halfway house. You can't do this interstate compact. So what are you expecting? And then you're sitting here with this creepy ass man, Mark. What the fuck do you expect? So then Mark decides to call him a loser and tell him he don't know what he has. I was like, a loser and a creep. And with you two, because yeah, Will might be a loser, but you're also a fucking creep, sir. But that's got nothing to do with this, right? So then Mark decides to ask Courtney to move in with him. I was like, Courtney, if you move in with this man, you're stupid. I know you're desperate, but you're also stupid on top of desperate. So Courtney says no. And so I was thinking to myself, like, girl, if you don't jump out that fucking car and roll to safety, but whatever, she didn't do it, right? So then, he's asking her, like, your job, can your job, the automotive place that you're working at, can that sustain your lifestyle and all that kind of stuff? I'm like, if you got to ask the question, you know the answer to the question, it's no. And then he was like, well, I can give you money, but with no strings attached. I said, bull fucking shit. You just asked her to move in with you, but now you're talking about if you give her money, there's no strings attached. Courtney, if you ain't like pick up on the clues, it's what Will said last week. That man wants to fuck you, but whatever, right? Whatever. Then we see Will going to see an attorney to get a divorce. And I was really thinking to myself, like, is this marriage, like, legitimately real? I know we saw y'all getting married, but is there a marriage license involved with this? Y'all ain't got nothing to divvy up. Y'all have only been married, at this point, a couple of weeks, right? Now, I want to ask Will this question. Why did you think that this marriage to Courtney was going to be the marriage of a lifetime? No. I could have told you that one from looking at Courtney. Courtney, like I said last week, Courtney lacks accountability. Courtney wants people to go along with what she does and just pacify her, baby her, and let her get away with the bullshit that she does and don't call her out on it, right? So then we see her later in the episode. So she's in a car with this girl whose name escapes me. All I could focus on was this tattoo that was around her neck. I thought it was a choker at first. Then I looked at it deep. I'm like, oh, that's not a choker. That's a tattoo. Okay, cool. Do you, sis? I ain't got nothing. But then when that girl said she ain't got no teeth, I said, oh, no teeth. Oh. So you gonna gum everything. Cool. So Mark got Courtney a place, right? That Courtney's gonna move into. I said, say what now? You don't think that maybe, never mind. Never mind. Because if Courtney likes it, I love it. Now, we move back over to Will talking to this attorney. They've only been married to each other for, at this point, 6 weeks. I was like, that marriage should just be annulled, right? Like, how long do you have to be married for your marriage to be annulled as if it never existed? But whatever. Will's. Now, the more that I watched this episode, I was like, Will, you talk about what money you spent on her. It's honestly given. You ain't got the money like you try to pretend like you got it. That's what I will say when it comes to Will. I'm really looking at Will like, you ain't got the funds like you want to pretend you got the funds. Y'all tell me what you think about that. So this friend she in the car with, right? We found out that Courtney and Gums messed around when they was in prison. I said, you don't say. And then Courtney kissed her. She's like, oh, I forgot that they was recording. Girl, how? That is a fucking GoPro in front of your face. How the fuck did you forget about that GoPro? But hey, she forgot about it. Whatever. So then Courtney asked old girl to take her to a pawn shop because she wants to sell that ring from Will and that fur coat. I was like, ma'am, you're not gonna sell a fur coat at a pawn shop. But maybe she can. So Courtney goes to the pawn shop. So the woman asked her, how much do you want for this ring? This fool had the audacity to say $20,000. I said, run that back? Huh? Run that back again? How much money? She said $20,000. I said, you's a $20,000 fucking lie. This is a pawn shop. Where the fuck you think a pawn shop getting $20,000 from? You would have been better off just taking it to your local crackhead and getting 20 bucks off of it. And she really probably would have been better off doing that. Because the woman was like, okay, well, we're going to test it to see if it's a real diamond. Because she was like, Will said it was 2 carats. Turns out that ring was nothing more than costume jewelry. I was like, you know what? It's what you deserve. So then we see her as she calls her mama up asking her for some money. If I was her mama, I would have hung that phone up in her fucking face. Daughter be damn. Like, you didn't think of, like her mama said, you didn't call me when you got out of prison. And she's like, well, I told, not prison, but jail. She's like, I told you that I wasn't going to call you when I was in jail. She said, well, you could have at least called me when you got out. She's like, well, mom, I need some money. She's like, girl, I ain't got no money for you. I was like, high five, mama. Make her figure it out on her own. So then she called up another person. She was like, you know, I can't help it if people just want to give me money. See, that's what Courtney, and see, the thing about Courtney is somebody who bases everything on her body and her looks. And let's just be real about it. You ain't cute. You just gotta be real about it. But she also doesn't like, because she talked about her mama and Will, how they both, you know, always bring up, ma'am, you want people to go along, like, you want people to be like, oh, it's okay, Courtney. You made a mistake. So let's figure this out. That's not how, like, that's why you ended your ass up in prison. But whatever. Moving on from Courtney, and let's go pause here and move on to the next couple. All right, you guys, so I'm going to briefly talk about Justine and Michael because honestly, I really want to 100% listening to Justine and Michael's scene if we're keeping it a buck with each other. Y'all know I do like Justine and Michael, but when it comes to Justine and Michael, I just don't understand why they're still on this show. This is giving Brittany and Marcelino 2.0, where they putting shit together for a fucking storyline. This wedding shit is bullshit. And the $60,000 for the wedding, the $100,000 for the barbershop. Where the fuck y'all get the funds for that? But hey, that ain't my business, and I honestly don't give a damn. Also, I want to say this, when it comes down to this whole situation with his daughter, Melody, I really do want y'all to stop talking about her business. I would appreciate that if y'all would stop talking about it, but we got to talk about it. We talk about it again, her slapping the girl, right? And what I will say is there is one part of this scene that I did like, and it was Michael talking to her about her, you know, she's turning 18, and there are different consequences when you become an adult. It's not going to be like, just a slap on the wrist. You can potentially go to jail for assault and all that kind of stuff. So I am glad that Michael had the conversation with her. And I'm glad that she told Michael how she felt like when she was in school, you know, when she was, nobody could defend her. and she dealt with anger. I really honestly feel like they need to put her in, she needs to go to therapy. That's just my personal opinion. Then on top of that, we finally found out why she slapped whoever she slapped, right? So the girl was talking about her brother, and she was talking about Santana, which is Justine's son that has autism. Now, anybody that can make fun of or talk shit about a kid with a disability, it's a special place in hell for you. Even if you aren't, like, once you get to a certain age, you know that you don't, like, they can't control that, and you don't make fun of people like that. Cause in high school there was a girl, she was older than me. Her name was Jamaica, and she was, now I don't, what do you call them? What do you call them? Do you still call them special education students, you guys? If that's the incorrect term, please forgive me. But she was in that class. She was in that class, right? And she was the sweetest person ever. And everybody, she would always be around everybody. Like she would, she would come to, she would walk the halls, and she would be, friendly with everybody, and we were friendly with Jamaica. So I just don't understand people who can make fun of kids like I just really don't. I know I know little bitty kids who don't know right, who don't know anything or understand it. They may have questions. They may say and do stupid shit. Like when you're in elementary school, you may say and do some stupid shit because you're a little kid. But from middle school into high school, you should know better. But whatever. So Justine and Michael, once again, these two had their priorities all the way screwed the fuck up because they want to go to New York and look for a wedding venue. I was like, well, what? Like, y'all are complaining about Kylie and Melanie going to college, but y'all finna spend frivolous money for a fucking wedding. Y'all finna spend frivolous money for a barbershop that neither one of y'all gonna really have any kind of hand in it. Michael is just trying to think he gonna collect money from the booth rent, but hey, whatever. If they like it, I love it. Because it ain't got shit to do with me, and it ain't my fucking money. Moving on to the next couple, you guys. Let's talk about Brooke and JK. Both of them are irritating. And I don't know who's more irritating, because both of them get on my nerves. You know what? I think it's Brooke that gets on my nerves more than it is Jake. No, they tied. Because Brooke gets on my fucking nerves, but JK also gets on my nerves too, right? So Brooke is going to go get a blood test done to determine if she's pregnant. I was like, ding, ding, ding. Thank God we're finally doing something smart. Even though this isn't really smart because you ain't got a job. You said you were a good mother to your sons, but from the whole time that we've met you, your sons have been with your fucking mother, but that's neither here nor there. Then you got your stupid ass fired because you want to chase behind a motherfucker who doesn't have a job. But again, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Now, Brooke calls up JK. It's going to voicemail. I was like, now, sir, you know that there's a possibility, that's what I meant to say, not potential. There's a possibility that this girl is pregnant with your child, but instead of you going with her, you're ignoring her. And so then we see him driving through the city. He got that truck. I said, how in the hell his daddy must have bought that truck from him? We also found out JK got his ankle monitored off and JK got a job. I was like, he does. That's good. That's good. But then he's talking about how the temptation is there. I was like, oh, so that means you done dibbled and dabbled, huh? Because that's what I was getting. So then we see he took his ass over to Alex's place. I was like, my God, this house that Alex lives in, it's ugly. From the outside, it's horrendous. I don't know what that inside look like. We know what it looked like, but we don't really know what it looked like. But I don't give a damn either, right? Now, we move back over to Brooke's crib. Brooke has kicked Bonnie out. Y'all remember, Bonnie is JK's best friend. Bonnie, you got a big ass fucking mouth, by the way. Like, you can't hold no fucking water. And we wouldn't be friends. Because we just wouldn't be friends. Because you spilled everybody's business that ain't got nothing to do with you. You told JK that Brooke didn't have a job, right? So Brooke is pissed off talking about, yeah, get your shit and get out. I mean, she is, so that was a moot point, but whatever. So Bonnie said that she was like, well, I felt like he needed to know. Why? It ain't like he was living with Brooke. So what reason did he, because he didn't have a job, so you got two jobless motherfuckers. So why did he need to know? But okay. So then Bonnie further proves what a shitty fucking friend she is, right? Because when JK left from being with Alex, Alex told him to take the microphone off, right? That was the theme of this episode. Take the microphone off. So he took the microphone off. He came back out. The producers asked him what was the conversation with Alex, right? He said he couldn't tell them. And I was like, very interesting, but okay. We're eventually going to find out from somebody. And that fucking somebody is Bonnie's big mouth ass. So Bonnie's big mouth ass decides that she wants to tell Brooke, oh, you didn't know this. Well, Alex had a miscarriage. My mouth kind of dropped because it was like, bitch, that wasn't your business to tell. That really wasn't your business to tell. Now, do I give a fuck that you told JK that Brooke didn't have a job? Not 100%, not even 5%. I don't. But I do give a fuck that you sat here and put out, what's her name again? Alex's business. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That is between Alex and JK. Not even Brooke needs to know about that. Now, Brooke is like, was it his baby? Brooke. I get it. She may have been sleeping with, she could have slept with 5 different men for all I give a fuck. But I'm pretty sure she know when she got pregnant. And I'm pretty sure she know the timeline of when she slept with Tim, Tom, Tucker, and JK. Brooke, just shut up. Like, you are just a miserable, hateful little biatch. That's neither here nor there. Now, we see as Brooke went to go see his mama, Kathy. That's his mama name, right? If it ain't, we call her Kathy today. So she went to go see Kathy. So Kathy asked her, when will you know if you're pregnant? She said, I should know something about tomorrow. So they talked about JK. Yeah, it looked like JK back on his shit. Because Kathy showed her them videos of him. I was like, oh yeah, Brooke man is back on them drugs. That is, it's weird when you see it, but we know that it's a disease, and it takes, some people never kick that habit, and some people do. And if JK is back on that stuff, even though I'm not that fond of JK, I do pray for JK, and that's really where we're gonna leave it at with that. So let's pause here and move on to the next couple, shall we? Well, technically, I don't have to roll my eyes. Yes, I do for the first half of this. So Z, let me speak on her real quick. This heifer is selfish. She is envious of his, she is selfish, and she's very envious of Troy's family. And I don't get it. Like, it's his family, you stupid. I'm not gonna cuss out. It's his family, you dumb ass. Like, it's his family. Like, you're jealous of his daughter, now his brother, his sister, and his mama. Girl, what you think they gonna do with him? What do you think they gonna do? Inquiring minds would really love that, right? So we see as Troy went to Buffalo, and he met with fucking Karen. Karen had me screaming. When I saw Karen in that outfit, I screamed. I was like, what is this that Karen got on? I hollered. So she told Troy, because Troy's asking her, like, have you seen Vaughn, right? She was like, I ain't seen Vaughn. I can't keep up with him. I ain't keeping up with no grown person. I ain't chasing no grown, which I get that part, right? I absolutely get that part. So she says, I can't deal with nobody. I can't deal with him. I can't deal with you. I can't deal with nobody. Your brother is gone. I was like, whoa. I knew what she meant by gone, but it was the way she said it. I was like, Karen, specify gone. But I think she just meant he's gone somewhere else, right? but she always knows where he is. And he comes back. Yeah, yikes, yikes, yikes. So then we see Karen and Troy in their one-on-one interview with the producers. When Karen walked in and sat her ass down, I immediately looked at Karen's eyes. I said, Troy, you don't see that your mama is high as fuck. So Karen then said to Troy, I got some weed. You want to smoke it? I said, exactly. Karen, I knew Karen was high. She said, Troy, I always know I'm high. I said, and I did too, Miss Karen. I 100% knew your ass was fucking high. So then, so then Karen, she's telling Troy that his brother's fine, right? But then she also tells him that Zoo over there needs to keep her mouth closed, right? Then she told him to tell he said, Mama, you need to choose your words when it comes to her. She said, tell your bitch to choose her words. I screamed when she said, tell your bitch to choose her words. Oh my God, Karen is something else, but y'all know I fucks with Karen. So then we see as he's with his sister, and they did find his brother. I don't know whose house he was staying at. The one thing that I just wanted to say to his brother, I just want him to pull his pants up, because I got tired of seeing them Ithaca draws. I really got tired of them. Then when they got to the cemetery, they're going to the cemetery to visit their brother's grave. Then when they got to the cemetery, I was seeing his butt crack, and I was like, oh my God. If you don't, like, I really want him to pull his pants up. Like, I'm like, I don't want to see your butt crack, and I damn sure don't want to see these Ithacas. Please and thank you, right? So prayer, and I do want to say this, prayers up to them, because you can tell they're still affected by the passing of their brother. So their brother, he was shot 6 times, and I think he said 6 times in the front and 1 in the back, or it could be vice versa. But either way it goes, his life was taken due to gun violence. And seeing them break down crying, oh, that was a tearjerker right there for me. But prayers up to them. I also feel like they should go to therapy as well. But that's it, you guys. Let's pause here and wrap it up with the last couple, shall we? Y'all, this last couple is a hot fucking mess. Kiana, Demadric, and Joella. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Now, you guys remember last week's episode, it ended with Kiana getting a phone call, right? So the producers are asking Kiana, can she talk about it? She says no, right? She doesn't want to talk about it. Then, the people that she worked with, they asking her what happened. She doesn't want to talk about it. So we see Kiana as Kiana went home and having a conversation with Demadric. Now, she told Demadric to go into a room and take his microphone off, right? So once again, the producers ask Kiana, can you talk about like what that phone call was? She says, no. Now, we find out from Joella, because we see Joella in her Mercury, her car with the grill fucked up. So we find out from Joella that someone vandalized her car. Someone slashed her tires, and someone wrote dumb hoe on her windows, right? So Joella believes that it's Kiana, and so Joella filed a police report against Kiana. I was like, Here's what I will say, 2 things. Is it likely to be Kiana? Yes. Does she have proof that it's Kiana? No. Well, we don't know that. We don't know that if she does or doesn't, right? But it doesn't seem like, it seems like she's going off, me and this girl have beef with each other, and it has to be her, right? That's where, and I get where her logic is coming from. But if you don't have factual proof that is her, then here's my thing. If you don't have factual proof that it was her, why would you go to the police station and file a police report against her? Because if you go to the police to file a report, which I guess she could say, she could show the Facebook post, because that's really what I thought she went to the police to file a report against. I thought she went to go file a report against Revenge P, but that wasn't it. It was because of her car. I was like, oh. Now, Kiana, however, Kiana and Demadric are talking because if this goes any further and she has to go to court and, is found guilty of this stuff, then he wouldn't be able to live with her. So Kiana feels like that's what Joella's whole thing is, to split those two apart. I was like, that would be very vindictive and calculating, because Kiana feels that Joella did it to her own self. And I was like, now that part wouldn't make any sense, especially looking at how this girl lives. Why would she fuck up her own? Which, you know what, I was about to ask a question, but I can't really ask that question because I have saw people do stupid shit like that, right? I have saw people do dumb shit, fuck up their own shit to fuck with somebody else. So I have saw it, so let me not say that, right? But yeah, Kiana says that she didn't do it, and Kiana feels like this is Joella trying to get between her and Demadric, right? So Demadric went to go have a conversation with Joella, and he was like, well, if I give you the money, because she said she spent over $600 for the tires. Girl, 600. Well, you know what? That's reasonable. That is reasonable. But no, it's not at the same time, because you went to like one of those, like those places on, oh, I hate to say it this way, but it's really kind of true of Texas. And y'all, please don't take offense to what I'm about to say. Please take no offense to what I'm about to say, but it is true of Texas, right? Because I remember somebody came into my job when I used to work for Hertz and asked this specific question, and there was a Hispanic man who asked this question too. He was like, is there any, Hispanic shops around here that sell new and used tires? And we were like, no. But come to find out, there was one right around the corner from us. We just didn't know about it, right? But it looked like one of those places where you can go buy new and used tires. And if you bought used tires, girl, I know fucking well you didn't spend $600. If you bought new tires from there, you're stupid. Like, you should have went to an actual tire place where you would get some kind of a warranty on your fucking tires. But you know what? Neither here nor there. Let me know what you guys think about this episode, you guys, because that's really it. But yeah, she said that Demadric asked her if he gives her the money back, would she drop the case? She was like, give me the money. I was like, yeah, Joella, huh? Cause you so quick to say no to you, like, which I get it, bitch. I spent money on it. Even if she did do it, give me my money. Give me the money that I spent out. So I guess I'm not too upset, but you got two birds and a tree. But whatever. That's it, you guys. Did we get everybody? We talked about Justine and Michael, Z and Troy, Courtney and Will, Brooke and JK, and Kiana, Demadric, and Joella. So that's it, you guys. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. Until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, you guys, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video, you guys. So the next video will be, So really, B and I, we got to talk about Beyond the Gates, because she couldn't do it today. So she asked me what my availability is for Sunday. So once I have that, I will put it in the community tab, because it's on my channel this week. So we'll put it in the community tab once I know what time she wants to go live. Then Real Housewives of Miami and Orange County, I have them scheduled for tonight, but we're just going to end up moving them until tomorrow sometime. And then also tomorrow will be Heart and Hustle Houston as well. So if I didn't say it already, you guys, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.